Welcome to the latest edition of the PKSOI Peace and Stability Journal. I'm Colonel Dan Pinnell, Director of PKSOI. I'd like to take a few minutes to update you on the last 3 months of PKSOI activities and introduce you to the top articles in this edition. On the 26th and 27th of January, Bill Flavin, Lieutenant Colonel Jürgen Prantner, and Lieutenant Colonel Narisa Urakami participated in the Challenges Forum presentation at the United Nations in New York. The report, Designing Mandates and Capabilities for Future Peace Operations, was well received by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and the Undersecretary General Ladsus of DPKO. You can view the full presentation by clicking the provided link in the journal. In the same week, PKSOI hosted an after-action review on the current UN mission in Mali. Representatives of several European countries shared their experiences in this multinational hybrid UN mission. In March, Colonels Haseman and Prantner participated in the NATO Training and Education Task Group meeting for peace support operations in Garmisch, Germany. They finalized the NATO Protection of Civilians framework based on the draft of our ATP 3-07.6, the protection of civilians. From the 2nd through the 19th of February, our Japanese exchange officer, Lieutenant Colonel Urakami, researched the current posture of the African standby forces of the African Union and the regional PKO and PSO training centers in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and in Cairo, Egypt. From the 9th through the 12th of February, I participated with a team at the US-UN Peacekeeping Operations Technology Tabletop Discussion. The purpose of this tabletop discussion was to develop ideas on how the U.S. could support UN missions with enhanced technology. On the 23rd to the 27th of March, PKSOI supported the Army Security Cooperation Planners course with subject matter experts in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. On 4 through 7 April, Colonel Prantner instructed in Chile on the protection of civilians at the Chilean Peace Training Center. He gave instruction to 30 participants from 4 Latin American countries who took part in the full Protection of Civilians course. From 7 through 10 April, Mr. Jim Cooney, our maritime subject matter expert, participated at the Maritime Security Cooperation Working Group in Quantico. Now I'll give you a short introduction to the latest edition of the journal. We were overwhelmed by the feedback to our top 10 lessons learned from Afghanistan story in the last edition of the journal, and we'll continue on with this series. The main article in this journal will focus on security sector reform in Jammu and Kashmir. The author, Major Claude A. Lambert, a U.S. Army strategist and currently a student at George Mason University, gives a terrific insight into the security sector reform challenges and developments in that region. The next article focuses on the increasing use of sustainable energy technology in microgrids in UN peacekeeping operations. The author, Andrew Meyer, a security assistance analyst for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, describes increasing United States support in sustainable energy technologies to United Nations peacekeeping operations. In the next article, Jim Cooney, our PKSOI Maritime Stability Operations Advisor, describes the Marine Corps University's Center for Advanced Operational Cultural Learning, CAOCL, and how this center might be used to better support regionally aligned force training in the United States Army. Last but not least, we present an article by Colonel Retired Chris Holschick of the Civil Affairs Association, who describes the joint PKSOI Civil Affairs Association issue paper series titled The Future of Civil Affairs. The next journal will focus on the extremely successful 2015 Peace and Stability Operations Training and Education Workshop, or PSO2, we held with all of our partners across the Peace and Stability Operations community at the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy the reading and let us know, as usual, what you think. Please don't hesitate to send your emails with comments to help us to improve our Peace and Stability Journal.